answer. So if people want explanations about why we're having all these scoring outputs, it's because there's not a good fucking answer.
No.
All right, I'm going to go over these blitz numbers because we're talking about 2 on the ball, and this is interesting. So this year, top 5 players that have been blitzed and pick and roll. Luka by a lot, by far, almost 200 more blitzes. Sure. What's interesting about Luka, I think, he's one of a handful of guys in this era that can make any pass against a double team.
Any.
James is one of them.
Yep.
You are for sure. Luka's one of them.
Yep.
Spinning on Grimes. Yeah, good job smothering him.
So why are you blitzing him?
I don't understand it. Especially with the shooting they surround him with too. It doesn't make sense. Because he's going to make every read, and when Tim Hardaway is hitting 6 or 7 threes, you're done.
So they're getting what they want. They just have to be patient to continue to move the ball. And 11 coming off the overtime loss in Detroit on Thursday.
Yeah.
Kyrie's going to do what Kyrie does.
Yeah.
Luka's going to do what he does. But when you get Tim Hardaway hitting 6 or 7 threes, and in our game earlier this year, we blitzed Luka and Dante Exum hit 5.
Oh, that's right.
6 threes. Yeah, that.
I just think with spacing and with shooting, there's just no good answer. So if people want explanations about why we're having all these scoring outputs, it's because there's not a good fucking answer.
No.
Atlanta blitzes the most in the NBA. They decided not to blitz Luka Doncic because they were worried about the consequences. And he had 73.
And he had 73.
34-112 to Golden State on Wednesday night. Johnson had 21 points in that game, and Johnson's on the board tonight for the Hawks. And Luka's.
With Trey being out, he has certainly been able to make a different contribution.
Right? There's just not good answers for the best players right now.
It has to come to a point, it's like, what are we willing to give up? Not what are we willing to stop. You can't stop great guys. You can't stop great players. You just hope they miss. But what are we willing to give up? And then you have to just tip your head. Like, these scoring outputs is insane.
The switching thing is interesting, too, to me, because there's certain teams that can put switch-heavy lineups out there, right?
Yeah.
You need the personnel
you need
to
the
be
personnel.
able to switch,
Yeah, you
right?
do.
And you need to be able to trust certain guys. So, like, Ty Lue clearly trusts his bigs to be a switch. Going back to Luka, he trusted Zubats to switch onto Luka that entire series, despite the fact that Luka was killing him.
Right.
Because he didn't want to get in rotation. Right.
Surely Dirk is somewhere in this building tonight.
Now Luka, the step back jack.
High-fiving in front of me right now. What a crowd.
First foul on Zubats, who now once again has to try to guard Luka, but it's not gonna happen.
What's interesting to me, though, about the switching against switchable lineups, like so you have 5 guys that are capable, is how creative teams have gotten with defeating the switches. So it's 2 of the hardest actions to guard, to me right now, are ghost screens with a great shooter. You run into a pick and roll, you touch the guy's back, and then you get behind the defense. And if you have a guy like Kristaps Porzingis or Jason Tatum that is doing that, you can't guard that. So you could be like, oh yeah, we're going to switch. Teams have now figured out ways to exploit switching.
I mean, last night, we got to a switching lineup, but Kuz was hip-tapping AR, and we were calling switch, and AR two times couldn't get back to Kuz, and he was able to get into the lane. He missed one, made one, but exactly what you're just saying.
Let's say we are in a switch defensively. If the guy slips on a ghost screen, my job is to go with him.
Yeah, call square.
Right?
Square,
Right.
slip.
But offensive players, as they're running up into the screen, they tap the guy on the hip. So you're switching on, you're supposed to switch on contact. Well, you feel the contact, you think it's a switch. Now the ball handler
and I'll open up and
I'm doing my job because he slipped, so I'm going with him. That's why it's hard.
That's why it's hard.
In real time, it's like, we can have all these rules, but then you gotta do it in real time.
That's why the NBA is the best league in the world.